We are at the Voodoo Barbecue, 2540 Severn, the best barbecue anywhere in the world. That makes it the best barbecue anywhere in the New Orleans area. And we are getting set to have fun, not only with some good barbecue, but talking prep sports and prep recruiting. Hello, everybody. I'm Ken Berthelot with Renee Nadeau, our recruiting guru at WHNO TV 20. And we've been talking about signing, went right up to signing day last week with our signing day show. Now it's time to look ahead. Let's look at the class of 2014. And we've done this a few times, Renee, and every time we did, you were just drooling because you know as good as the talent was last year, next year.
You know, as good as 2013 was, 2014 is busting at the seams. It's so plentiful. I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get started. This is the kind of class that you wait for a lifetime. And I don't know if Louisiana will see this much talent in how many years to come, but wow, what talent 2014 has.
Renee has identified 32 of what he considers to be just the very cream of the crop. We're going to look in no particular order at 16 of those this week and 16 next week. And the reason is we've got two fabulous guests, two coaches coming on to talk about, college coaches, to talk about their recruiting classes. So that coming your way right after this. Let's start off with the class of 2014. We're going to start off with, of this 16, a young man from John Curtis. A little bit of MOREIRA is going to go somewhere. A little bit of Jefferson, a little bit of MOREIRA is going somewhere when he signs with somebody, and everybody'd like to have this.
He's getting some interest from TCU, Mississippi State, Minnesota, and Kansas State. 5'10", 205, and very physical running back. Excellent blocker, has an extra gear. A little bit like Kevin Horton, who signed with UL Monroe last year out of the Curtis class.
St. Aug has Blaise Brown, the strong safety.
And he is very physical, 4.5 speed, finds the ball. He's a downhill tackler. He's about 6'1", 190. The problem is he is an excellent baseball player. He may decide to play baseball, and you see special teams right there, which is vital. He's a great player, picks up the ball into the end zone. But Blaise Brown may decide to go the baseball route. If he plays baseball in college, that may play into the equation as well. But he was rated as a top 20 baseball player as a sophomore in this state.
And you know kids want to play early and quick, and well, when you can play special teams, you're going to play as a freshman. Glenn Irons, the wide receiver from Edna KARR.
And we got his coach on a little bit later. He's 4.5 speed. He runs the 100 and 300 meter hurdles. Very confident, gets a little bigger. He's going to attract a lot more attention so far. McNeese, Northwest Louisiana, South Alabama, Western Kentucky.
RUMMEL Stephen Dunbar, 6'2", 185.
And wow, was he a big reason why the Raiders won the 5A state title. Taking a pass in right hand, good route on the corner, good hands. He was being hit as he caught the ball, but he's got great concentration. 6'2", 185, big target, runs good routes, is a deep threat, and you saw he used his body pretty well to shield the defender. Comes up with a big catch right here. That was a tough catch going the other way against the throw, and just a good slant route, deep slant, bringing it in for a touchdown. He's going to be a good receiver. Kent State really likes him a lot.
Well, let's move on with the 6'2", 235, JAYSHAWN Washington from EHRET.
Tulane, ULL, UL Monroe, Mississippi State are watching him. Very tough. Can play defensive end or tight end. 4.7 speed. He is the grandson of Alden Roche, good friend who played 9 years in the NFL. 6'3", 235. He'll be a good catch.
Quentin Gibson from Shaw, 6'2", 180-pounder.
Louisiana Tech, Minnesota, FIU, FAU, and Auburn are watching that 6'3", 180-pounder. He's really made some strides in his delivery, Ken. He works on it every day. He's got good arm strength. And Quentin Gibson, he reads defenses pretty well, a very cerebral guy. Good touch pass right there in a tight window, and he's going to be a 3-year starter as he comes out.
Good size for a quarterback, too. DWAYNE Eugene from RUMMEL.
And he's a safety. Louisiana Tech, Southern Miss, Tulane, Auburn, and Mississippi State like the 6'1", 197-pounder. Good instincts, finds the ball, is a downhill tackler, good ball skills.
Moving right on to DESTREHAN's DONOVAN ISOM.
Wow, he's big, 6'4", 235, big and strong. So far, Tulane and Arizona State like him a lot. Cincinnati and Houston are monitoring him pretty close. He can hurt you with his arm or his feet. He could be an H-back or a tight end. He wants to play quarterback. He practices very hard, very consistent, very intellectual quarterback.
6'4", 235. Wow. Peter WOULLARD from St. Aug.
Not real big, 6'2", 265, but he'll play at about 285 or 290, Ken. Texas A&M, Southern Miss, Arkansas State. and Mississippi State. Really like him, very flexible. He played tight end as a freshman. You see him come off the edge right here and put some good pressure right here. That was a good play by him, and he's got good balance and leverage.
Remember, this is the class of 2014. The college coaches just setting their eyes on these guys now. Glenn Couillet from Mandeville.
Tulane Southeastern McNeese like him a lot. Great athlete. He's a winner. He kind of lifts the whole team up. Got good football savvy. 6'1", 205, and he made a difference for that Mandeville Skipper team last year in the semifinals against Rummel.
And Joseph Paul from St. Aug is next, the big offensive lineman.
Wow, this guy's going to have to move up. Watch the way he finishes these blocks. Florida State, Texas A&M, LSU, Texas, Tulane, and Alabama. Love this guy. 6'5", 335, bench presses 360. He buries his opponent. Watch this for a guy. Look at the way he moves. A guy 335 pounds finishes his blocks.
Wow.
I tell you, he locks into his opponent. He can play inside or outside, but as big as he is, Ken, he's got the feet to play outside as a tackle. Wow, he really finishes his blocks. He's a pancake block specialist.
Well, how about the wide receiver from Carver, Miguel Villo?
5'11", 178, 4.45 speed. Ole Miss has offered San Diego State as well. ULL, Louisiana Tech, and SMU really like him a lot. Explosive, hard worker. He is also a return specialist.
Rummel's Andre Tolliver.
And as a cornerback, he's got great hips. Southern Miss, Nebraska, Northwestern, and Vandy like him a lot. 6 feet, not real big at 160. We'll add a little bit. Great hips, cover skills, good balance, and he's got the instinct as a break on the ball.
Moving along to East Jeff's Eugene Wells, another quarterback.
And we had him on a few weeks ago, Ken, you remember. He's a quarterback for the Warriors, but he'll play in the slot somewhere. Georgia Tech like him a lot. He's a 4.38 40. And also keep in mind, he's a leader. He's the point guard on that East Jefferson basketball team right now. That's one of the best in the state of Louisiana.
When you're a leader and you've got that kind of speed, that 5'9" is not going to be a difference as long as you're not playing quarterback. And like you said, they're going to move him to the slot somewhere. Moving along, Anthony Jones from KARR.
He is a sleeper, but not among recruited. 6'6", 225 will add to that frame. LSU and Frank Wilson like him a lot. Mississippi State, Ole Miss are on him. Auburn, Tennessee, Clemson, and Texas Tech. He is a super basketball player, which translates well to be a tight end. He's a Robert Royal type. If you remember him, played for KARR, LSU, and then he entered the NFL.
And rounding out the first 16 of Renee's golden 32, so to speak, Kenyon Williams from Lusher.
And Tulane has offered Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Washington State. He's a very good athlete, a wide receiver, good pair of hands, very intelligent. He makes his cuts very well, and I'll tell you what, he's going to get better and better. Good size, 5'11", 175.
Now we're splitting this up again. This was 16 of Renee's so-called top 32, golden 32, however you like to call it. We'll look at the other 16 next week, but I'll tell you what, just of the 16 we looked at, not only is there some beef there, but and some speed, there's just some overall talent. And again, you and I talk about the amount of talent that this state produces is amazing.
You know, and keep in mind, Ken, that, 34, 35 players who played high school football in the city of New Orleans and the surrounding area make it to NFL rosters every year. And you look at players on this roster who are going to move up on this that we just featured, Joseph Paul or somebody like that. And this is only going to get better. And it's amazing that players that are not on the list right now will be added as we go along. So it's going to be so interesting to watch recruiting for 2014.
And look, we haven't even talked about some of the big names on that list, like the Leonard Fournettes, among others, right? Those all come next week.
Speedy Noah, William Clapp, and there's a few others, but it's going to be interesting to see, again, the recruits, and it'll really intensify. Schools are looking at these guys now, but it'll really, really intensify as the process goes along.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we've got two guests today, and one of those guests is the former coach at KARR, Jabbar Jalouk, and Southeastern University's head football coach, Ron Roberts, who did such a fantastic job with that program in his first year, is here on the latter part of the show to talk Southeastern football and what a recruiting class the Lions had. All of that will be coming your way right after this on the Prep Recruiting Insider from the Voodoo Barbecue. Oh, look at the ribs. Not yet, Renee. You're going to have to wait till after the show before you can dig in. Leave those on. back at the Voodoo Barbecue, 2740 Severn, right off Vets in Metairie, the best barbecue anywhere. Well, about 4 months ago, Renee and I were sitting here with a high school coach from KARR who had a state championship trophy on the table, and we were chatting about that. He's sitting with us at the table today, Renee, but no more state championship trophy and no more Ed in the KARR shirt. He's got a Louisiana Tech assistant coaching shirt on. He is now the running backs coach at Louisiana Tech, Jabbar Jalouk.
Jabbar, welcome here. And yeah, a month ago today, we sitting here with a trophy, state championship, and undefeated season, and wow, you know, we're excited for him, but we're sure gonna miss him, man. He did a great job at Ed in the KARR.
And tell us how this came about. How did the transition from KARR go with you going to Louisiana Tech? How did they entice you away?
Well, Coach Holtz is an outstanding individual. I think his enthusiasm for the game of football and the love that he has for young men really connected between the two of us, because that's what it's about at the end of the day, making sure that the young men that we encounter are doing the things that are necessary for them to be not only good football players, but to be productive citizens in life. And this is an opportunity that I can continue to help young men and advance my career as well.
Now the good thing about what Coach Holtz did is put you down in New Orleans and recruit, because nobody knows this area like you do. And I tell you, you know how fertile this area is, and we just talked about 2014, but you did a great job and had a banner haul for 2013, Jabbar.
Absolutely. New Orleans, I should tell people all the time that New Orleans football was back and strong as ever. And I was an advocate for the public school at the time, that private schools were not the only place that had good football, and the public schools had good football as well. And the entire city, the entire metro area is loaded with talent, and I'm just blessed and thankful that God has allowed me to come home and be able to recruit the city that I grew up in, and have an opportunity to bring some young men forward to another university.
We'll talk about that Louisiana Tech recruiting class in just a little while, but before we do, was it tough for you to meet with that team at KARR, a team that you had taken so far for so long, and break the news to them and take us through that experience?
Absolutely. It was a bittersweet moment. You know, when you have been invested into the program for 10 years, to watch those young men mature from freshmen to seniors, and just to be around the people at the school, the principal, Mr. Heiser, Rock Wildbecker, the athletic director, all those guys were unbelievable to me, and giving me an opportunity to be the head coach there. And I'm very grateful to those guys for doing that for me, because I was 28 years old, had no experience, and they gave me an opportunity, and I made the best of it, and I gave KARR a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and it was time, and hopefully that we can continue the program in the right direction, and under the new leadership, under Nathaniel Jones and the rest of the guys that were on my staff, hopefully the kids can understand that this is what it's about, opportunities, and making the best of your opportunities as you go.
Now, we talked a little bit, Jabbar, in the past about college, making a move for you from high school to college, and you said it had to be a right fit. Why was Louisiana Tech a good fit right now?
Staying in Louisiana. I'm a 504 kid. I'm from New Orleans. I love New Orleans, and have the opportunity to go to a university such as Louisiana Tech, who has a great tradition in football. The community, man, the community is unbelievable. They've been open arms. They embrace me and what I can bring to the table, and welcome me into the Tech family. It just was a win-win all the way around, and I'm just grateful that Coach has given me the opportunity to do this, and hopefully I can come to the table and bring some good things, and hopefully continue the excellence that Louisiana Tech stands for, and hopefully that we can bring good kids from New Orleans up there and make this a good pipeline, and continue on what we're doing.
What's been the biggest change from being a high school coach and the biggest adjustment you've had to make to becoming a college assistant?
Well, the recruiting. Recruiting in high school is illegal, so now we have an opportunity to go out and recruit good ball players, good character kids, sit down in a room and go through film and watch who could become good players for us, and then get to know those guys and find out what they like to do, what their ambitions are, what they're inspired to be, give them an opportunity to get an education as well as play football, and just to knowing the people and getting out and meeting with the coaches around the state. So not only am I recruiting New Orleans, I have the North Shore, I also have the river parishes and schools as well. So it's going to be a good deal just to let the guys know, the high school coaches, because I'm just coming from being a high school coach, on how important they are to us as college coaches in making that transition better than what it was in the past from Louisiana Tech aspect of it.
Was it a challenge a little bit, Jabbar, being on the other side of the table? You had been the recipient of that spiel. Now you turn it around, buddy. Is it a little different?
It's a lot different. I can tell you driving up, once I accepted the job, talking about, oh man, we can get all these kids from KARR and come and play for Louisiana Tech. But once you get into the war room, it has to be a fit, it has to be a need. And that's the thing that I did not understand as a high school coach that I'm understanding now, that I can't take you because you're a good ball player or you're a great kid. It has to be what we need at Louisiana Tech, and it has to be a good fit across the board for everyone. So I'm learning the different ins and outs of it. It's going to get better. I'm intrigued by it. I love a challenge. I'm a student of the game. I'm willing to learn. And I want to just be able to go out here and be the best that I possibly can be and be the best ambassador for Louisiana Tech like I did for Edna Carr High School.
We're going to look at some of the Tech recruits in the next segment. In the final minute and a half we have in this segment, what's your comments on what happened with the LSHAA, and right now it looks like it's going to be a split between the select schools and the public schools, the non-select?
Well, I don't know all that's taking place on it because of my transition was so fast. I really didn't get a chance to sit down with my principal to find out what's going to be good and what's going to be bad. I think that the people who are in charge are going to come to a conclusion that they're going to do what's best for the student athletes of the state of Louisiana, males and females, and going to do what's best for them. And that's why they're in the positions that they're in. Hopefully they come out and be productive all the way around, man. I just want to make sure that the kids of Louisiana have the best and not just doing something that's going to benefit one or two people, individuals. Hopefully they're doing a thing for everyone and make sure that the kids do not suffer in the whole process.
Jabbar Jalouk, formerly of Edna Carr, now the running backs coach at Louisiana Tech on the staff of Coach Lou Holtz. We'll take a break, and Renee and Jabbar and I, Skip Holtz, I said Lou Holtz, Skip Holtz, and Jabbar and I and Renee will take a look at that Louisiana Tech recruiting class right after this. We are at the Voodoo Barbecue, where it is absolutely serving up the best barbecue anywhere in the world. Welcome back to the Voodoo Barbecue. Ken Berthelot along with Renee Nadeau, and our guest in this segment, former KARR coach Jabbar Jalouk, now the running backs coach at Louisiana Tech. They had a great recruiting class, and Renee, when you looked at that recruiting class, you said it's not only a good Skip Holtz recruiting class, but you can tell there's a little touch of Jabbar Jalouk in this class.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, he did a great job and put his personality into it and used his contacts, and people know him very, very well. But, you know, the thing is, Louisiana Tech scored a lot of points last year, but they gave up a few points as well. And the way to fix that is you bring in some junior college defensive players, which the Bulldogs did, and that's a quick fix, isn't it?
Absolutely. Those guys are coming in with experience, 2 years of playing ball. I think our defensive staff did an outstanding job of going out and selecting guys that we think can come in and play for us immediately and give us some help that we need to have. When we do score a lot of points like that, you're going to need some studs on defense just to try to slow or stop the opponent as much as we possibly can.
Let's take a look at your list, and we're going to list it alphabetically on the screen. Pick out the players you'd like to touch on, and we'll start off with page 1 of your list with Chris I.
Well, Chris I is a high school kid that came in from Houston. He's doing a real good, very good athlete, young. You'll have some time to grow a little bit. Jonathan Bourne came in an outstanding kicker for Woodlawn High School in Baton Rouge. Is doing a real good job. D'Angelo Brooks is a kid from Shreveport who's coming back from Kilgore. Is one of those guys that we have to come in and use on the defense side of the ball to help us out with some immediate impact as well. And also, Carlos Henderson from New Orleans, McDonald 35. Carlos is probably is a top 25 kid in the state of Louisiana.
You remember this?
You know, for us to have an opportunity to get a kid with this magnitude is great for the program, and also it's going to start the pipeline for us that we're going to have here in New Orleans.
Jabbar, when I see Carlos Henderson run, it looks like the defenders are in sand. I mean, really, he has got a second gear. I love this guy. You know, I'm convinced he could be a running back because he's got Warwick done move. Wow. but where is he going to line up for the Bulldogs?
We're going to play him at receiver, put him in a kick return for us. He's so dynamic once the ball is in his hand. He's a lot taller than we anticipated. He's 5'10", almost 5'11". He makes moves as though he was 5'8" or 5'9". Can cut on a dime, and we're just fortunate that to have a kid of that magnitude in the program is going to be exciting for us.
Michael Jacob.
Michael Jacob is going to be a good corner. He's coming from a winning program in Allen High School in Allen, Texas. Eddie Johnson, that kid there is an amazing athlete, man. We're excited about him. Coming from the Valley, he's a junior college kid that's going to have some good experience for us. Terrell Pinson from Itawamba, another one of those guys that's coming in is going to help us out in the secondary. He and Thomas McDonald, junior college kids with some experience that we think can come in and give us an immediate impact. So we're excited about those guys on the defense side of the ball.
And then a few more here, Trent Taylor.
Trent Taylor from Evangel Christian, coming from a great program. We're excited about that young man. Xavier Woods, defensive back from West Monroe, is a phenomenal athlete, great student. We're expecting great things from him, and that's just going to help us out. And what we're going to be doing on the I-10 and I-20 quarter, making sure that the guys in the state of Louisiana stay where they're supposed to be.
Paul Turner's a guy I like, and I know him very well from LSU, and he comes over from from West Monroe and goes to LSU, and where would he line up? He was a quarterback, but where he would be a wide receiver.
Yes, he'll be a outside wide receiver for us. Hopefully Paul can come in with his experience that he obtained from LSU and come in and help some of our young guys, Carlos Henderson and those other guys, Trent Taylor, as well, and make those guys become better college football players.
So a new challenge for you, Jabbar Jaloop, but something that's going to be fun. You're learning a lot from Skip Holtz. You're making the transition now from high school to college, and this and all of this part of Louisiana becomes your fertile recruiting ground, correct?
Absolutely, and I'm excited about the opportunity. I just want to go out here and do the best I can, work as hard as I possibly can, and give everything that I have. I'm appreciative of what Coach Holtz and the Louisiana Tech family has offered me an opportunity. I'm going to make the best of it, and I'm going to try to come down here and find the best players from the New Orleans metro area that can come in and help Louisiana Tech become a better university.
You got a guy, Ken Dixon is a guy who can make you look pretty good.
Absolutely.
And the way he played as a freshman,
yes, sir.
It wouldn't be crazy to expect him in a year or two to maybe get some Heisman consideration.
We hope so. Kenneth Dixon is not only a great football player, he's a great kid. He's coming from Strong, Arkansas. I had an opportunity because I'm coaching that position, spend a lot of time with Kenneth and getting to know him better. He's a great kid, good student, loves the game of football and wants to become the best he could possibly be. And he also have a running mate in Tevin King that's going to be real good to offset what he can do. Kind of like a little thunder and lightning deal, a little smaller back and get in there and make some things happen. And but I'm fortunate to be coaching some real good kids, and hopefully I can help them become better than what they already are.
In the short time you've made that transition from high school to college, and you've really gotten to know and work with Skip Holtz a little bit, what have you noticed with Skip Holtz that you feel is one of the key ingredients that's helped make him the successful college coach that he is?
He's a people's person. He could come in the room and capture the room immediately. He goes around and speaks to everyone. And if you didn't know who he was, you would not know that he's the head football coach, because he wanted people to be very comfortable around him. And that was one of the things that attracted me to the job and accepting the job, because of his enthusiasm and the way that he worked and the way that he feels about kids is very important to me. And he's a spiritual man, and he knows that God is in control. And he wants to make sure that our young men have the best of both worlds, football, academically and socially. So we're going to combine those things and continue to make Louisiana Tech an even better place than what it already is.
Jabbar, you've been on the show before, and you know that the kids watch it. And in the last minute, as the kids are watching you, that you haven't knocked on their door yet, why is Louisiana Tech a good fit?
Well, Louisiana Tech is an oyster that's about to explode. I believe in what's going on. The academic system in place on the quarter system is going to be a great opportunity for young men to graduate sooner than what we've done. We have a 75% graduation rate at Louisiana Tech. We're number 29th in the country in graduating our kids. We have 10 kids to graduate last fall while they were still playing football, working on their master's degree. So academically, it is an opportunity for young men to excel, and we want to make sure that they reach their potential athletically, but academically is the key. And Louisiana Tech has an opportunity for young men to graduate in a record pace in 3.5 to 4 years. And that's what it's about, getting your degree and coming to a great place with a family orientated. It's small, it's a rural area, and give an opportunity for kids to get to know everyone around there.
Jabbar Jaluk, Renee's got his pen. What a great, he's ready to sign right now. Here you go.
Just
you
I'll
got
be
it.
a third down back.
Let's make it work.
Listen, thank you for being with us. Stop by, you can be a guest
Yes,
anytime,
sir.
and we wish you the best of luck with Skip Holtz at Louisiana Tech.
Yes, sir.
in your
Appreciate
career.
you guys for having me.
All right, we'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll be visiting with Ron Roberts, the head coach at Southeastern Louisiana, has done some fantastic things up there. You'll hear all about him right after this from the Voodoo Barbecue. We're back at the Voodoo Barbecue. Ken Berthelot along with Renee Nadeau. This is the Prep Recruiting Insider, and it is our pleasure to welcome the head football coach of the Southeastern Lions, Coach Ron Roberts, to this segment of the show. And Renee, I'm so impressed with what Coach Roberts did in his first year at Southeastern. Came from Delta State, where he took that team to the national championship game, won a bunch of conference titles over there, made it look too easy. Southeastern scoops him up, brings him to Southeastern. In 1 year at Southeastern, goes 5-2 in conference, and if you talk to a lot of people, they'll say he was about 1/2 of a football game at Central Arkansas away from winning the Southland Conference, and goes out, has probably one of the most dynamite recruiting seasons of anybody in the football championship series level, and he is ready to go for it all this year. Ron Roberts, thanks for being with us. Congratulations.
Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate that.
Well, we're going to talk first about some things that you have done there, because as we said, last year you were 5-2. You were about 1/2 a football game away from winning it all. You went out and really got some big name football players to transfer from some BCS programs. That's going to make a huge difference in the Southeastern program.
No doubt. We brought in 12 guys in the midterm, some junior college offensive linemen, a couple defensive linemen, and some Division I transfers in there as well. We really tried to fill most of our gaps, all of our holes at the midterm break, so they would be here for the spring to get a chance to work with them and stuff. So we really felt that the mid-year class, we answered a lot of our questions. And then I'm just so excited about the February class, what we were able to sign, some impact players again. And I'm very excited about what we're going to be able to bring to Southeastern in the future.
A couple of sexy moves you made. You know, Stanley was the guy. Stanley was the guy last year who transferred from Ole Miss, came in, and you did a great job with him, Ron. But you get Brian Bennett from Oregon comes in, and this running back Sutton from Wyoming. I'm watching him. You know, it looks like Barry Sanders moves. You really added to that offense with those two guys.
Yeah, I think they're both impact players. They're both got a very particular skill set. You know, that they can help us be explosive on offense. That's a big thing. You got to be explosive. You got to create big plays. And
here's Brian Bennett.
This is Brian Bennett right here at Oregon when he was there. You know, I think he's a dual threat guy. He does have a great arm, although he's probably limited in his experience in college throwing the football. He does have experience playing in some big games and some big time environments. And so I think he brings that exposure and that comfortable feeling to this year. Hopefully when we get opportunities to play in those big games, he's been there and done that.
Yeah, he wasn't a bench sitter, was he? He played.
Yes, he played. He's played last couple of years, and you know, like I said, he's been very explosive. He has made a lot of big plays for him.
Hey, Chip Kelly had a package set for him before he left to go to the NFL. But the thing about Bennett, the thing I like about him, Ron, is he makes those tight. That's a tight throw right there.
That's a great throw.
Yeah, that's a great
big time throw.
And you got to be confident to make a throw like that.
Right. He's a young man again who's very confident in his abilities and ability to lead a football team. We're excited about him. He's a hard worker. He's already proved that coming in. He's a hard worker. He's competitive. And then obviously he's a tremendous athletic ability. And you know, looking down that list, Devontae Davis is an impact player at DB, can play any one of our 5 DB positions. Marquise Hayes is obviously a guy that can spread the field as a wide receiver. This is Devontae Davis, and he's, you know, like I said, he's very athletic. You see him coming over from the safety position there. He's a kid who went to North Texas, played as a true freshman there. He's a guy that, what we like in the back end, you like guys that can cover, and you got guys that can tackle, and that's what, and how simple the game is. That's it, and he can do both of those things. He's a dynamic player. that again, is a good open field tackler, and he's a tough kid. So we really like what he's going to bring to our defense side of the ball. Marquise Hayes, like I said, is just a guy who can stretch the field. Eric Jenkins out of McMain High School here in New Orleans is a cover corner. And then you're looking down there on the bottom of this with Cody Sutton is also another one, again, that just
We
an
got some
impact
Cody
running
Sutton
back.
video.
Sutton looks like a ping pong ball in a bathtub. You know, he's all over the place, Coach.
Yeah.
And you see he's not a big guy, but he's strong from the waist down, and he makes cuts at full speed. And really, that's going to be a different dimension for your offense.
Yeah, he is a powerful runner. Although you said he's probably 5'7", but he's 200-something pounds. He's going to bench 400 pounds. He's going to squat in the extra 600. So he brings what a big back brings to the table. He is a powerful punch with great balance and great just ability to change directions, and he's a load when he gets there to bring the impact.
Now that Mountain West he played at Wyoming, rather, that's not an easy conference, and he held his own there.
No, he's done a great job. I think he's a very talented running back that, again, he brings a little dimension to us. He's an explosive guy that has the big playability, and that's what you want. I like guys handing the ball to people that take it to the house.
And again, these were just some of the key midseason transfers that you brought in. This wasn't everybody. This was just some of the key ones, and you brought 13 in altogether, not counting the freshman class that you went out and signed.
Right. We brought in 4 offensive linemen at the midterm as well that we're very excited about. 2 defensive linemen at the midterm. That's pretty big. We brought in 2 defensive backs. Also, Eric Jenkins here from New Orleans, and Pat Malone is up from junior college, ICC up in Mississippi. And like I said, we really felt we answered a lot of our gaps, a lot of the question marks. We answered those at the midterm.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the freshman class that Coach Roberts signed for the Southeastern Lions, and we'll also talk about what's happening with the program, and he's got a couple of coaching clinics coming up that if you're a high school coach watching this program, you're going to want to know about. All of that coming your way right after this from the Voodoo Barbecue, the Prep Recruiting Insider, 2740 Severn, right by Vets. Welcome back to the Voodoo Barbecue and the Prep Recruiting Insider Show. Ken Berthelot along with Renee Nadeau and our guest coach Ron Robertson. What a magnificent job he has done in year 1 and in his second year of recruiting for Southeastern Louisiana. One of the things you talked about in the last segment, Coach, was that you addressed a problem of adding more offensive linemen. And I know last year, I think you had about 7 or 8. Now you're going to go into the spring with what, about 14, 15 offensive linemen?
We got
How is
14.
that going to help you?
Well, it helps a lot, just the ability to work, when you're dealing with low numbers, it's hard to get after each other, be as physical as we'd like to be in practice when, you really got to take care of people and trying to make sure you can get through. I mean, there's a couple of scrimmages last spring we had to cut short because the offensive linemen couldn't go anymore. There's a lot of rest of the guys on the football team don't get work in if those guys aren't ready to go in the pit. And so I think just as far as depth-wise, yes, we're getting better, but I think depth-wise is probably the biggest attribute that sign those offensive linemen at the break bring to us.
We've had some of your guys, signees, on this show in the past this year. And the thing I like about your class, Ron, is that, Southeastern and used to maybe take take whatever's left over kind of thing. But you aggressively went out and got some prospects that had a lot of options at some bigger schools and secured really some linemen and some players that are really going to help turn this program around. A lot of kids from this area.
Yeah, we've got, I think the total number is 14 kids from, when you take about Tangipahoa, St. Tammany, come down to New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Well, that's great. And we want to get that local flavor, on our ball club. And so we're excited not only about that, but excited about the quality of these players. Our staff, we've already said, we don't want to shy away from anybody because somebody says they're too big or too,
Right.
Heck, I think we proved that right now. There's nobody too big. We had a defensive back in the Senior Bowl. We had a quarterback in the East-West Shrine Bowl, and we got a linebacker in the Texas versus the Nation game. We got 3 of them, and we'll probably get one get called on the second day of the draft this year in April. And so we want to be that big-time program in the state of Louisiana, especially South Louisiana, and we want to be up there and be able to compete for recruiting with the FBS schools in this state.
And you're doing that because you've recruited nationally. You've recruited around the state very, very well, and in this area, the New Orleans area, is such a fertile and hotbed area for recruiting. We're going to put the list up of just the New Orleans kids, the New Orleans area kids that you got, and you can talk about them, and what a class. Yes. Titus Charles to start with.
Yeah, there's some big boys in that thing. You know, Titus Charles, a great player, was an MVP in last year for Edna KARR. This year, again, goes and wins a state championship for Coach Jaluk. Just a real powerful young man inside. And Taylor Cochran's guy got season cut short, and we stuck with him early and offered him early last spring and stayed with him.
That meant a lot to him. He said that on the show.
Yeah, and the thing is, he is a man. He's a big, strong kid. He can hunker down the middle, and he can absorb 2 or 3 blockers. That's really going to help you as defensive lineman.
Yeah, he's a big, physical guy. We like his personality, his attitude, all that. You know, another thing I think you probably care. A lot of these guys are, you know, I like their mentality and the way they look at life and adversity and things like that. And, you know, Taylor Cochran to me is a guy that is going to overcome obstacles in his life just because he, you know, just like he handled this his senior year. Emmanuel Darius is a bigger, athletic young man, 265 right now, but we were talking at the break, you know, he could be 290, 295 and hold it well, and he's very athletic at it. You know, so I mean, I think we really added some big guys up front, especially the defensive side of the football. Preston Wingate is a 2-time player of the year, linebacker, very active. You can see here playing from Mandeville on North Shore. Just a nose for the football, very instinctive football player.
He reacts very quickly, Ron.
Yeah, he's real instinctive, and again, he's just a tough, physical kid. He's a kid that you can build a defense around, and
pretty good size too, about 6'1", 215, 220.
Yeah, he's right about 220, 225. We think, you know, he's going to probably play about 230, 235. You know, again, I like his instinctive, his habits, or his work habits. You know, he's just I think he's a leader, and we're real excited to have him for the future of the program. Like I said, very instinctive and a great tackler.
But once again, just a great local class from the New Orleans area, statewide. Again, and we only put up the players here from the greater New Orleans area. If you take a look at the players from the state, and then we looked at some of the big name people you brought in, either got them the transfer or just went out and signed them from junior college or somewhere else, or high school around the nation. Tell you what, anybody who's a Southeastern fan or a college football fan has to be impressed with what you're making happen at Southeastern.
We're excited about what we're able to do. You know, we're kind of going through our process. I also said this is a break because it's kind of we're really trying to go through the thing and trying to rebrand Southeastern football. We're going to try to change the image, change the expectation level, change the perceptions out there in the state. We are the 3rd largest school in the state, Louisiana. We need to start acting like it. And you know, so I think what we're able to offer kids as far as education and a football experience, I think we're one of the top programs in the state of Louisiana.
And to do that, I know you've got to make some changes. You want to see some things happen. So let's take a break. And then when we come back, we'll talk about some of the things you hope to see happen in Southeastern to take that next step, as you say, to make it happen and act like that 3rd biggest school in the state of Louisiana. We'll take a break. We have the Voodoo Barbecue, Ken Berthelot, Renee Nadeau, and our special guest, the head football coach of the Southeastern Louisiana Lions, Coach Ron Roberts. Boy, we're going to enjoy some great Voodoo Barbecue when it's all over. 2740 Severn. Welcome back to the Voodoo Barbecue. Ken Berthelot along with Renee Nadeau, our recruiting guru and the head football coach of the Southeastern Lions, Coach Ron Roberts. And Renee, probably no one has kept a closer eye on Southeastern over the past few years because of your nephew, Tommy Connors, that played there. You probably have a list of things you'd like to see happen. I know Coach Ron Roberts has a list, and you guys can kind of tell us a little bit about what needs to be done with that next step, as you say. Things you'd like to see done either through the Lions Athletic Association or facilities or what?
Well, the big one is facilities. I think that's our next step, and we're actually in the phase of starting that right now. We're actually under construction inside in the Dugas Center. We're tearing down some offices. Just really going to put a facelift over the whole building inside. Carpets, paint, new walls, some graphic art up on the walls. We started down putting new flooring, redoing our locker room, everything, going over the top to bottom, trying to really give it a facelift over to give us that type of facility that we're going to need to recruit the top level type of athlete at Southeastern to win the conference on a yearly basis. And that's probably the next step is what do we need to do to really win a conference on a yearly basis or compete for a national championship, to be that top 15, that top 10 FCS program in this country. What are the things that we need to do? And that's a big one was facilities. The other one is obviously is recruiting different, some higher caliber players.
And you've done that.
Yeah, and we've done that. And
win. And really with a 5-2 record last year, one half of football away from maybe winning the Southland Conference, you did that.
Yeah. So we're excited about those things. I mean, I think that, and then when you talk about we got to sell our stadium out. We're going to put a jumbotron in Strawberry Stadium. That's going to help look. Wow. We also have one of probably a first-class, press box facility. That part of it's nice. Strawberry Stadium is a beautiful facility, but you add the jumbotron into it, it's going to help tremendously. And that's really we want to be that next level Division I program.
You know, one thing that the guys who played, like my nephew Tommy Connors, wishes he had that new turf that you guys have. Wow, that's outstanding. I mean, that is first class.
It is. It's great surface. Came out of the Superdome, and it gives us a great facility, a great turf to play on. And again, what we want to offer everything is we want to be first rate. We want to do everything with class. We want to do everything first rate. We don't want to be second to none. And to me, that's in everything that we touch. That's what we got to take the approach to.
What's the goal in spring training this year, which is getting ready to start at Southeastern? What's important to get this team ready for the fall?
Well, there's some new guys, obviously, that we've got to get incorporated and get going. But the biggest thing overall we're going to sell to our guys is about competition. It's competing on a daily basis. It's getting mentally tougher, physically tougher, and do what it takes to win a conference championships. And work that way. Every day we go to the weight room, every day we come into practice, and everything we do, are we working like a champion today? Are we getting things done?
You know, the thing I like about what you said, Ron, is that, just because you're bringing transfers in, it's not etched in stone these guys are going to start. And it kind of raises the level of intensity with the guys who are there that pick up your game if you want to maintain your job.
Right, and it's all about competing, competition. And we've got some great players. We've got some good players, on our team. And what we want to do is obviously give them opportunity to bring out the best in them. And I don't think I know it does that as competition. These are some highlights. This is versus Lamar last year. TV game versus Lamar. We came out of the gates in this game, and I think we go up 14-0, and probably, again, I thought that mental edge, that little mental toughness, that edge of competing, we didn't bury them when we should have. We didn't put that game away there early in the second quarter. Should have done that. I think that's the next edge is, do we know how to finish jobs? Do we know how to finish the game? Do we know how to finish the play, the series, the quarter, the half? And that's what it's about.
Well, that's important. You've got a couple of coaching clinics, including a very big one on campus in the last minute or so that we have here. Why don't you tell us about that, because high school coaches should know about that.
Yeah, well, first of all, we're going to start spring practice on February 25th. Our spring game will be on March 23rd, and on the 22nd, 23rd, that Friday, Saturday of March, we're going to have a high school clinic on our campus at our place. You can register on ronrobertsfootballcamps.com. You can go to our website, selu.edu, and you can go to our website and you can go through that way on our athletic website. But our doors are always open to high school coaches. We said it all along, I want to be a high school coach's best friend. They need to always feel welcome at our place, but this is a specific opportunity for them to come out, spend some time with our staff, build some relationships. This is a good part on us too. So our door's gonna be wide open. We're not gonna hide anything. We're gonna try to give them everything we've got as far as on football X and O part of it, and make sure it's a great experience for them.
Coach Ron Roberts, you've done one heck of a job. Renee and I thank you very much for taking the time to visit with us on this last half of this edition of the Prep Recruiting Insider. We'll be watching you through the spring and through the fall. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Let's do it again soon, will you?
Yes, sir.
All right. And we'll be back to wrap it up. Want to again thank Coach Ron Roberts of Southeastern for visiting and sharing everything that's happening with the Lions program there. Renee and I will be back to wrap it up right after this from the Voodoo Barbecue, 2740 Severn, right here in Metairie. Best barbecue anywhere in the world. the Voodoo Barbecue and Grill, 2740 Severn here in Metairie, right off Vets. It is the absolute best barbecue in the entire world. We enjoy this place and thank them, Jim Leslie, Chandra Piku. Thank you all so much for your hospitality as we come here so often to shoot the shows of the Prep Recruiting Insider. Folks, come try anything at the Voodoo. Got to tell you though, the smoked turkey, unbelievably fantastic. And join our Facebook page, like us. And on that Facebook page, you can keep up with what's happening on each show, each week with the Prep Recruiting Insider, see who the guests are, what they're talking about. And you'll always get an interesting comment, sometimes from that guy over there on the left, Renee Nadeau. And Sports NOLA TV is every Monday at 6 p.m. Ken Trahan, Torrance Small, Brian Alley Walsh, and a guest. They have more fun wrapping up the weekend sports scene than people ought to have doing television. They're fun to watch. And then, of course, you can always go to sportsnola.com, the website, because when you go there to sportsnola.com, the website, this man right here, Renee Nadeau's got a blog, he's got a column, and each week it gets more interesting. What do you have this coming week? What are you working on? Or at least, and what have you had the last couple of weeks that people can go to and see some of your past columns and blogs?
You know, I hate to let the cat out of the bag, but if you want to cheat a little bit, you can check out Sports NOLA and find out all the 2014 metro area that we just gave you a smidgen of what it may look like, but we can let you know what the whole 2014 top looks like. Also may give you a peek into 2015, and we'll let you take a look at who LSU and Tulane are focusing on for 2014, not just in the area, but all over the place.
That's good, and again, with that class of 2014, you've got your golden 32.
Yep.
And we looked at 16 of them on this show. We'll look at 16 next week. And as Renee said, if you want a sneak peek at who the other 16 are, sportsnola.com. Plus, go back and read every one of Renee's blogs on sportsnola.com. That's interesting. Also, Renee, you can actually see every edition of Prep Recruiting Insider on sportsnola.com. Go to the prep page, right?
Sure can. And next week, may kind of analyze and take a look at some other colleges and how they did with the recruiting class as well next week.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. And for this edition of the Prep Recruiting Insider, for our entire WHNO television crew, Renee and myself, Ken Berthelot, thanks for being with us. See you next week with another edition of the Prep Recruiting Insider.